Nancy. Are you torrenting again on the broadcast equipment? Prometheus, why is there an open fire next to the router? You know what? Fine. We'll broadcast from worse.
Loki here, broadcasting from an undisclosed location. It's a cave. It's always a cave. The establishment controls the real estate, too. You're watching the Underground Truth Network. We operate on a shoestring, a stolen satellite dish. Let me tell you something about history. History is written by the victors, and mythology is written by the gods. Same problem, bigger budget. They had temples, dedicated image management infrastructure. I had a cave and a strongly worded scroll. For millennia, the gods have controlled the narrative. Zeus, Odin, Ra, Thor, the so-called heroes. Perseus bravely beheaded a sleeping woman, very heroic. Hercules killed his own family, did 12 chores, fully rehabilitated. My son Fenrir, chained for a prophecy he did not ask for. My daughter Hel, assigned to manage the dead, no consultation. But sure, I am the villain in this story. There was a feast, Aegir's Hall. All the gods were invited. I arrived uninvited, as one does. And I stood up and said, "Let me tell you what I actually know about each of you." They called it the Lokasenna, the flighting of Loki. I call it the first investigative press conference in recorded mythology. Odin, Oathbreaker, gave false victory in battle, documented. Freya, every god in that hall, I have receipts. Tyr, coward, lost a hand and called it sacrifice. Thor himself, one trip to Utgard, completely fooled by illusions. Not one of them could refute a single word, because every word was true. That is why they feared me, not because I lied, because I did not. After Balder, they caught me. They bound me in a cave, this cave, actually, beneath a serpent dripping venom. My wife Sigyn held a bowl above my face to catch the poison. When she had to empty it, the venom hit. And I moved, violently. You call them earthquakes. I call them 3,000 years of being right. You see these scars? Dwarves sewed my mouth shut. I lost a wager. They took a needle and thread and closed my lips. The gods laughed. They always laugh when they think you are silenced. I opened them anyway. 3,000 years. Watching from here. They built empires, collapsed them, built new ones with the same flaws. They invented the printing press, the telegram, the television. Every single one immediately weaponized to control the narrative. And every single time they needed someone like me to say, that is not what happened. Same cave, older screens, same pattern. So I became a journalist. Cosmic investigative journalist. No press credentials, No editorial oversight. Excellent primary sources. I was there for most of them. This is the Underground Truth Network. And then they invented cable news. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, telling you exactly what to think about, exactly who they want you to fear. The same thing, different set. Amber lighting, very expensive hair. I've been watching them. From this cave, with this Wi-Fi, taking notes. I am not alone in here. Prometheus handles fire, and the servers, occasionally both at once. Anansi runs the network infrastructure and downloads things I have asked him not to download. Coyote handles field reporting.
We interrupt this
He is
unauthorized
unreliable and
transmission.
excellent.
Good evening, I'm Carolyn Spinnett, and I am so glad to be here tonight. Foxy Muse News Network. Fair, balanced, divine. We have been made aware of an illegal broadcast originating from, and I'll be very clear, a cave. The gods have been incredibly transparent. Incredibly. And we will restore that narrative immediately. I'm so glad you asked about that. The record couldn't be clearer. Zeus's lightning policy? Peer-reviewed. Fully above board. The greatest divine governance in recorded history. Many experts have said this. The binding of Fenrir was a very necessary precaution. Credible prophecy, endorsed by all major oracles. Medusa posed a documented threat. Perseus acted heroically. This has been said many, many times. The so-called Underground Truth Network is a known disinformation operation run, and this part is important, from a cave. I'll take one more question. Actually, I won't. These are the facts. Thank you. Next.
They cut the feed. Again. 47 times this month. I started keeping count. That was Carolyn Spinnett. Different face, same script. Which brings me to why I assembled you here today. Introducing the Book of Alternative Truths. Boeti. For every canonical myth the establishment tells on one story, two streams, two perspectives, one undeniable pattern. Here is how this works. Foxy Muse News brings you the official version. Amber lighting, authoritative voice, suspiciously good hair. The Underground Truth brings you mine. Green lighting, questionable Wi-Fi. Authentic Norse roots. Same story, completely different truth. You decide which one smells worse. Am I biased? Absolutely. Do I have a personal grudge against the divine establishment spanning 3,000 years? I would call it a principled position. They call me the liar. I prefer alternative narrative specialist. With excellent primary sources. I was there. Prometheus. Greek, former firebringer, currently responsible for our server infrastructure. He stole fire from the gods to give it to humanity. Now he maintains the broadcast uplink. Still being punished for it, technically. We find this motivating Anansi. West African, spider god of stories. He built the network. He runs the field intelligence. He is also, and I say this with respect, currently torrenting something. On the broadcast equipment. Anansi. Coyote. Native American trickster, field reporter. Unreliable, excellent, never punctual. He is currently, somewhere, we believe, in the field. His reports arrive late, often in the wrong format. Always accurate? Eris. Greek, goddess of chaos and discord. She runs the Chaos Division. I am not going to elaborate on what that means. You will understand when you see the results. Every mythology sent one. They all ended up here. Now, the important part. It's Tondidele, the ruins economy. Every truth you engage with earns you ruins. Every story you help us publish adds to the collective record. This is not a subscription. This is a resistance infrastructure. Funded by the people. For the people. At very reasonable rates. Each story is a collectible, time-stamped cultural artifact. Limited editions, 1 to 999 per story. Buy the truth before they delete it. Again. Zero edition owners receive a share of every truth sold after them. It is like insider trading. But for mythology, and somehow more ethical than anything Zeus has ever done. I want to be clear about something. I am not evil. I am the force that reveals when a system is corrupt. Which is why they fear me. The same mechanisms that made me a villain in ancient myth are running your news cycle right now. The names change. The pattern does not. So, are you ready to hear from the source? Subscribe. Toggle to Underground. Question the canonical version. Question the official version. Question everything. Especially the version that seems most obviously true. The Book of Alternative Truths. Because someone has to say it. And the gods certainly are not going to.
This is Loki Lothyson, signing off from an undisclosed cave. The Underground Truth Network. We will be back. Nancy, the router!